Okay, well finally, in fact you probably noticed I got a red nose. We've been out here for 8 hours waiting for Abhilash to arrive, and it's been extremely demanding for him. The wind in the bay, in Storm Bay here, has been horrific. It's been in and out and very slow. You might have followed him on the tracker. It's just taken him forever, and we're really feeling for him at the moment because it's been particularly tough. We're just off the iron pot here, and we're about to say good day for the first time, and I got no idea how he's feeling. I know he'll be very frustrated, so but it's good to see him get this far. We're on Alex and Jackie's boat again, and we'll be heading over to Kingston Beach, but boy, it's very, very frustrating, the sub-blown flag. I'm going to just hold it down for the moment, and wow, even his wind turbines aren't making a lot of progress, but there you go. So, in fact, it looks like he might be motoring a little bit. I'm not sure. Hello! Hey! Yeah, I'm glad you finally got here.
Great to see you.
Oh, jeepers. Yeah, unbelievable. So, we've been crazy, eh? Absolutely crazy. Yeah. So he's motoring. So looking really good, big smiles. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we can catch up on the leeward side now. So that's really cool. Yeah, good to see him. Oh, we should add the other. Anyway, so yeah, just as you when you're ready. That's cool. It's a bit hard to. Oh, he's sailing again now, so that's okay, but he has got the engine ticking over. He might have been doing a bit of that because it's just been horrific. There's been wind shadows there just in this last bit. The northerlies kicked in a bit and got him moving finally. Sydney Hobart Fleet's roaring down towards us, and the wind will probably be here in a couple of hours, so it all looks good. And boat looks good. Yeah, crazy. I'm not sure why the reefs are there, but anyway, it's finally a bit of breeze. 25 knots, just a thing. Yeah. No, we were watching the last bit. We didn't want to follow you in because we thought it's too depressing, you know, just by dung. But good to see you, eh? Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. You what? Yeah. Ah. Oh, gee. Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Ah, cool. Okay, if you didn't catch that, then what Abhilash is saying that when he came into Storm Bay, he had dolphins and seals and albatross and all that sort of stuff. So having a good time, and he's looking really good. The boat looks good. Yeah, no barnacles. Okay. Yeah, it's cool. No, it looks clean, looks good. So and the sails look good. Yeah. So fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That's fine. So see the tower on the mountain? It's straight under that. It's Kingston Beach. Yeah. So that's cool. All right. Well, it's good to see you. We've been out here for 8 hours because the AIS said you were doing 8 knots this morning. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we did a big rush, you know. We got down here about 9:30. So I got a sunburnt nose, but it's all good. Yeah, all good.
It's like Rudolph.
Yeah. Oh, Merry Christmas, by the way. If you celebrate that, you know, you maybe not, but you know, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Okay. And I know you've met up with
Sandy.
with Sandy. So she told you where you are and everything. She told you where you are, like with Kirsten and Simon and so on. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. So that's good. And yeah, good idea. Yeah, because there's a big wind coming anyway, and you'll be okay tomorrow. Yeah. Good idea. Okay. No, tonight. He's there. The winner is a few hours behind you. Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what Abhilash was just saying then was that he's going to actually stay overnight. So when we get into Kingston Beach, we'll be able to. Hang on. You what? No, they won't. That's cool. So he's going to stay at Kingston Beach overnight and get underway again in the morning. He's going to tidy the boat up, have a bit of a break, have a rest. He's obviously had little sleep in the last couple of days, and there's some big winds coming, so it's not as if it's going to slow him down too much, and he might miss some of the worst of it. So we'll see how we go. Anyway, if you're watching this, the live tracker update will be late tonight. That's cool, and we're just happy to see him. The interesting thing is, the barnacle situation looks good. There's got no real obvious signs of barnacles anywhere. Some of the anti-fouling, I see it's got a bit thin in spots. You might have different coloured layers, which helps you determine how much is left. I think it was a soft one, a bladed one, but I can see, just as the boat's moving, I can see some thin bits there. And you'll notice Abhilash doesn't have a slime line on the bow, and in fact if you look at the way it's cutting through the water there, completely different bow shape. You may remember Kirsten's bow was a bit straighter stem, and it was a lot more buoyancy underneath. It had a rounded, like a Canadian Indian canoe type bow. That's unusual, the bow on the Rustler's more traditional modern style, but that may give her advantage as well, more waterline length and stuff, so all good. He's filming now. Wave, Jane. So anyway, all kind of cool. Sorry? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, all good. Yeah, all good. So the rig looks good. There's no real signs of banging or whatever, and the rig looks good. The sails look good. It's amazing, modern technology with the sails. I know Tapio was going around the second time with his, and in the last race, Jean-Luc and Uku, they went all the way around, no sail damage. Only ever used the main sail, stay sail, and one genoa, and then put spinnakers up and down. That's it. So the boat's looking good. He's actually been sailing right up until the corner there, I need to get a couple of pictures away here. I'll just set this up, enjoy the scenery there, boom. Okay. Yeah, so the wind pilot looks good. Seems to be going through. Looks like an adapted plywood wind vane on the top of that. It doesn't look like a standard one. So maybe he's popped a few. It'll be interesting to see what happens with how he's feeling for the weather coming across, because both wind generators there, the Rutland wind generators, are still there. So it means he probably hasn't had a major knockdown or anything. Completely different from 2018. So that's pretty cool. Dodger's looking good. Boat looks as if it's ready to go to Cape Horn. And the number 85 on the mast is looking a bit grim up there in the high vis area of the mainsail. So that's okay. And he was just saying, he had reefs down because he had 25 knot gusts going to windward coming in, and so his sponsor's logo's not there and all that sort of stuff, which he'll maybe change that after. So he's Lassard Balloon stickers on the bow, all the bits are there, so it looks like a squeaky clean boat at the moment, flying various flags. So for his sponsor, and an Indian flag as well, and he's proudly Indian, that's for sure. So I think there'll be quite a few people happy to see him here, and we look forward to chatting once we get in. It's a bit hard with boat to boat at the moment. There's still a bit of breeze now. It's quite nice. It's about 15, 18 knots, I suppose, 15 knots or so right on the beam, so he's able to keep sailing. And we haven't got the rib now, but when we get in there, the Bayanet, the sponsors have had a big boat with a little boat on board. They went and met him a few hours ago, flying drones and everything. He's filming again. Wave, Jane. Oh, jeepers. And so they spent a couple of hours beside him, and they're going to be waiting in at Kingston as well. And they've got a small boat they're going to launch, so Abhilash will anchor. Woo! One wave. Abhilash will anchor, and then we'll go over in the small boat and do the interview and get the story for this last leg from Cape Town. Yeah, I think he's enjoying the scenery. It might be his first time to Hobart. Certainly it's a bit of a close-up. It's amazing here for summer, very mild temperatures, about 25. They're calling it the heat wave. So, but anyway, nice breeze, and this big breeze from the north is going to build now in the next 12, 18 hours, and it's going to push the Hobart fleet down. But there's no new record for the leader. But they'll be through in a few hours, I reckon, maybe 4 or 5 hours or something. So I think he's turned the engine off now. Yeah, the engine's off. He's just sailing. So save the fuel, because there's they're allowed to motor any time, but for every litre over 25 litres, there is a 2-hour time penalty, and that's measured when they get back into port. We'll fill the fuel tanks up again, and then measure. They get 25 litres for free. Then everything after that there's a time penalty. So it's a debatable thing, even we say to ourselves, might have been value to start motoring, but you don't know what the forecast is, and you don't know when the breeze is coming back, and 2 hours a litre is quite stiff. But anyway, he's here now, so that's a good thing, moving along nicely actually. Looking very good. Those Rutland wind generators are only real trickle charges, but when you've got 2 of them and there's a lot of wind, they'd be putting in a few amps each, but it's certainly in an emergency that's more than enough to keep everything going for radios and keeping all your bits charged. Abhilash has got a problem with his chargers. His chargers for all his VHF handhelds are not working for some reason, and then the VHF on top of the mast is a bit intermittent. It's working, but it's not performing 100%, and that was affecting his AIS as well, coming through. So, but yeah, he hasn't got any handheld VHF radios left because they've all got batteries now. But he can charge the satellite phones, and he's got plenty of power on board. It's just there's something wrong with his chargers per se. So that's a bit of an issue, but it's not affecting safety and so on. He's able to continue. So. The various flags, he's flying the Indian flag there on the port side of the transom, and he's got the Q flag because he's under quarantine control coming in this far, not going to actually enter, so no one can give him anything, or we're legally allowed to take opened letters and their films and tapes and so on, so we'll collect them this trip. And then going forward, we've got the UAE flag there, Makdar Adventure, Lasab Alone on the other side, and I think that's another Indian flag up there as well, up the front. So quite a few different things. Yeah, all looking good. I don't think so Abhilash has got flexible solar panels for power. He's got flexible ones that come out into the cockpit, and another one there just in front of the Dodger there on deck. And he doesn't have any water generator. Just going with the wind generators and the solar panels, the power plus his engine. And at one stage he couldn't start the engine on this leg, but then he fixed whatever the problem was, and the engine's now working. But he is sailing at the moment, sailing quite nicely. So that's kind of good. And he's still got a good, strong, solid nose and forestay there. So all the repairs in Lasab Dalone before he left have worked out really well. There's no issue there, and it was certainly very unfortunate, very challenging way to start the GGR. And I know it affected some of his early preparation. He would have much rather been relaxing or making all the final little tweaks and psyching up to a departure out of Lasab Dalone, and it just didn't happen. He had a lot of pressure with that, a lot of he didn't show it, but there was obviously a lot of stress there and a lot of uncertainty for a while, and anyway, got it all sorted just before the start, got out there and got away, and then faced a lot of other challenges with doing the race again and restarting and so on. But he's in new territory now, because in the 2018 edition, as you know, he had a big accident halfway between Cape Town and Australia, and was pretty badly injured, recovered, got back into the start, and now ever since that longitude, which was about halfway, this is all new territory, and I'm sure he's quite happy to be facing this new challenge. It is a real new challenge. I mean, and he'll do with it what he wants to make of it. But it's still good to be to the halfway point, more or less, and heading off to Cape Horn. He's done it before. He was the first Indian to do a solo non-stop round the world when he was in the Navy. I know he's a flying Navy, but he's a commander in the Indian Navy. And so there'll be a lot of people cheering him on and making sure that he's got all that support, moral support, and all the rest of it to carry on and get back up to Les Sables d'Olonne. It's quite an epic feat. And even in the adventure so far, he's sitting in third place, and that's pretty impressive in its own right. And still a long way to go, but when he leaves here tomorrow, he's still in the same weather patterns with Kirsten and Simon. They're probably, by the last I looked this morning, about 8 o'clock. They're about 120 miles apart effectively. They're going into some strong solid breezes tonight, going on for 24 hours, 36 hours. But they're in touch with each other, and Abhilash ain't going to be very far behind, so that's all pretty interesting. But I really do think that right now, Abhilash is running his own race. He's a bit like Kirsten. Kirsten's in there for it's a race, but it's a personal adventure, and she forgets about everyone else and just does her own thing. She's racing herself, and I think Abhilash is looking at this. He's looking really relaxed at the moment too, by the way. I think he's really doing his own thing as well, and and I think it's a good sign to see he's going to stop overnight. He's obviously not got a lot of sleep in the last few days as he approaches land. But he's relaxed enough to say good time to tidy up the boat, clean it up, have a breather. BAYANAT, the sponsors, are here as well, and we can have a good chat with them, and maybe get to talk to the family and all the rest of it as well. So it's a boost. But all the time he's still maintaining the solo non-stop unassisted status, by no one touches him. We're the only ones that can touch the boat per se when we come alongside, but he can still have a good conversation with people alongside the boat. So we might shut this down in a minute, because we're getting close to Kingston. But I hate to say it, what I'm looking at there, and this is my eyes, you see that band of nothing up the front? Is that no wind at all, or is that just a haze or a mirage or something? I'm just having a bit of a panic here. It looks like we might drive out of the wind in another mile or so, and it looks like it's glass out just going into the coast. So anyway, he started his motor before, so I'm sure he'll do the same thing. Yeah, it looks very clear up there. Just show, can you see the horizon there? You see that right line, the clear line? I don't know whether you'll be able to detect that. There's a clear line on the surface of the water up there that looks like it might be no wind at all. So we might drive out of this as we get close. But he'll start the motor again and keep that going, so it's not too bad. So I think we will shut this down, and then we'll go and put it on Abhilash one last time, and we'll shut this down for the moment, and then come back in probably about 20 minutes once he's anchored there, and we can get something sorted.